Welcome, Sens Talk.
Here comes Sens with a pass across. Oh, he scores! He bats it in! Tim Stutzler wins it for Ottawa. Mitchell Grant is going to put the finishing touches on an Ottawa win. Oh! See you later. Go Sens, go!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon Plant, and I am your host. What just happened? My goodness, what a crazy game that was for your Ottawa Senators against the Los Angeles Kings. Handheld video again today. I apologize. I literally wish for this video, especially for this game, I could do a bigger and longer breakdown, but got some family plans and whatnot. So gotta attend to that, obviously, but gotta do a quick video because my goodness, what the hell just happened? And by the way, happy Thanksgiving to all of those who celebrate. Hope you have a great time with your loved ones, especially after a thrilling Sens win as they take down the Los Angeles Kings in a wild one, a record-breaking game. The last time the Sens and Kings exchanged 14 goals at the minimum with one another was back in the Wayne Gretzky era, okay? So it's been some time, ladies and gentlemen. The Ottawa Senators and Kings today made a record for the most goals between one another in a game. It's not 1990, it's 2024. Absolutely insane. What a wild game this was. It started off normal. You know, Ottawa, they did not have Linus Ullmark for this game. He's out with an undisclosed injury. Seems to be precautionary, maybe a minor nagging injury or sort of issue. Doesn't seem to be something to overly be concerned about. Really, Greg also does not play in this game. Doesn't seem to be something we should be concerned about, but he did miss the game, so we'll have to keep an eye on what happens with him. And in this game, Artem Zub got hurt. He took a big hit from Tanner Jeannot. There's some controversy around this hit. Some people say it was a dirty hit. At first, I thought it was a dirty hit, but then when you really take a look at it, Zub was kind of caught in an awkward situation. He was crouched over. Jeannot followed through with his hit, but he kept his elbow tucked. And that's a key indicator that Jeannot didn't intentionally go for the head, and Zub was in an awkward spot. So you just saw it on your screen. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But more importantly, Zub got hurt, did not return to the game, and with his neck and head injuries, hopefully it's nothing serious, but one can imagine that he may miss some time, which will be a huge blow for the Ottawa Senators. We will absolutely keep an eye on that. And in my next video on Thursday when Ottawa plays the New Jersey Devils, I'll make sure to give you guys an update on that. But back to the action-packed game. So yeah, Ullmark didn't start, so Forsberg started, and yeah, not a great performance from Anton Forsberg or either goalie, and we'll get into that later in the video. Within 10 minutes, it's 2-0 Kings. After a strong start for Ottawa, they led the game in the first few minutes, outshot them by a few shots right away early on in the first couple of minutes. They controlled the play, they were driving the play, and it was a good response after a brutal loss to the Montreal Canadiens this past weekend. But of course, we'll get into it, but Forsberg, literally Forsberg, let in a couple there, and then thankfully, Jake Sanderson got one on the power play that bring us back to within a goal. By the way, Jake Sanderson, my goodness, Jake the Snake, QB1 is just a different type of player. I mean, this guy gets way too much disrespect around the National Hockey League. He's not spoken about nearly enough as the elite defenseman that he is. He's easily, in my opinion, one of the most exciting young two-way defensemen in the league right now, if not just in general, not just for young players, but just in general. He's just that good. And his emergence as an elite offensive guy, had a good year last year as a rookie, but as an elite offensive guy leading the charge on the power play one, it's paying dividends so far. As Ottawa, they cut the lead to 1, and keep that in mind. The Kings would keep on scoring, and Ottawa would slowly chip their way back into this one. So as we head into the second period of play with the Kings up by a goal, they would go up by 2 to make it 3-1 Kempe. But this is where things get really wacky. And I have to mention, by the way, just before the Fiala goal, the Kings had a goal. It was waved off Brandt Clarke. He crashed the net. They called it a goal, I should say, on the ice, which was ridiculous. Clearly a goalie interference. And we'll get to this later. The reffing tonight, or the officiating, I should say, was abysmal. And that is being very polite about it. It was terrible. The Kings, they didn't have their goal confirmed. It was called back. Somehow no penalty against the Kings. They said it was no goal because of goalie interference, but where's the power play then? The power play ends up going to the Kings. A stupid play by Pinto. He throws the puck over the boards. It happens. Just a terrible time for it to happen, and then the Kings take advantage. But Zach McEwen, the Zach attack, baby. My goodness, noted goal scorer, Zach McEwen lets one rip with an unbelievable slapper from near the blue line. He winds, fires, and scores. They cut the lead to 1 again for your Ottawa Senators. Get ready for a lot of Zach McEwen. He defended Artem Zub earlier in the game with a huge takedown fight against Tanner Jeannot. Literally a few big punches that took him down rather quickly. Gets a goal here. They make it a 1-goal deficit. And then, of course, Forsberg's out of the game at this point. He looked to have gotten hurt on that Brandt Clark crash to the net. And then he would leave the bench, would return, so he should be okay. It doesn't seem to be injured, but he would be replaced by Matt Sogard, who lets in not a great goal. We'll just leave it at that. Not a great goal. You just can't have that goal. And that's just been the theme for the Ottawa Senators in this one. I mean, the amount of goals the Sens scored tonight, this should not even have had to go as far as it did to get the win. But anyways, Ottawa again down by 2. And this is where things start to really turn around for your Ottawa Senators. And most importantly, the big guys stepped up in a huge moment when Ottawa was only down by 2. Still, 30 minutes left in the game. A lot of hockey left. You know what? Look, Ottawa absolutely still could get into this game. And it's, of course, the big guys getting them back into it after McEwen cuts the lead to 1 and the Kings make it 4-2. Here comes the Sens. First, it's Drake Batherson on the power play. It's bath time, Ottawa. They cut the lead again to 1 against the Kings. My goodness, Ottawa keeps on cutting the lead to 1. They just won't go away. And that's the big theme of this game for the Ottawa Senators. In a game they really need to make a statement after an abysmal loss to the Montreal Canadiens on Saturday. They really need to respond with a strong effort. They were not going to go down without a fight. Batherson makes it 4-3, and then 19 seconds later, Shabbat Shalom, Thomas Chabot. My goodness, everyone's giving this guy hell. Nah, you shouldn't. What a goal. What patience for Hot Sambacho, Thomas Chabot, to tie it up at 4, and the Ottawa Senators in 19 seconds come back to tie it at 4. But of course, oh my goodness, of course the Kings will take the lead again. And we'll talk about it. The goaltending, absolutely terrible. And that goal, again, has to be stopped. You're not going to win games if your goalies literally cannot make saves. And by the way, the Sens literally did not get many saves tonight. They allowed a good amount of shots. Not an overwhelming amount of shots, though. It was literally around league average amount of shots they let in. And the goaltenders just... you could throw a puck at net, and there was like a 1/3 chance that puck was going in today. It was terrible. And good on the Sens and their forward core, and even the defense. Some of the guys on the blue line chipping in, keep pushing that play, and keep the Sens in it. But, we're lucky. We're lucky that offense really came to play today, because that goaltending, 9 out of 10 times, will sink you like that. So that is so concerning. And we'll talk about the stats in a second here. But, yeah, Ottawa, they tied at 4. They give up the lead again. But you know what? This is where the Zach attack comes back into play. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zach McEwen game on full display. What a pass from Adam Gaudette to Mac, and bang! Ottawa goes into the third period again. Tied at 5 in a crazy second period. Back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth we go, literally, as Ottawa and the Kings find themselves tied with 10 goals combined going into the third period of play. Ferrier would put a shot past Sogard that, regardless of the turnover from Amadio and the bad pinch from Chabot, you have to stop that puck. That was from 30 feet out with no screen. You have to be positionally sound to that shot. He was off the angle, beat some glove side, and the Kings retake the lead. But guess what? The Sens, again, are not going away without a win today. As the Clodfather on the power play with a little nifty move in the crease, puts it top shelf. The tie again for your Ottawa Senators. Claude Giroux, another player people have been saying have been quiet, comes through with a massive goal and a massive moment. The tie again for your Ottawa Senators. And then, yeah, it is Josh Norris time. The Noof on the power play. Ottawa leads 7-6 for the first time in this one. Ottawa has the lead. Josh Norris, power play goal. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sens are back. The Sens are back. Oh, wait. We still have those goalies, though. The Kings, they tied at 7. But I have to say this about that Josh Norris goal. It is so great to see Josh Norris scoring again. That was his first goal since last February. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. I can't emphasize this enough. Healthy Josh Norris scoring goals will be huge for this Ottawa Senator team and their potential success this season. But yeah, the Kings would tie it up at 7 on another goal where Sogard just is so positionally not sound. And I love Matt Sogard. I love him. He's a friend of the show. Been on the show multiple times. But he has to make that stop. And if I spoke to him tomorrow or today, he would say the same exact thing. He knows he has to make that stop. So a brutal goal there for Sogard on a night where, or on a day, I should say, where Sogard and, let's say, Forsberg, just cannot stop a beach ball. They couldn't stop anything. And look, I'm not making any excuses for Anton Forsberg. He knew he was going to start in this game. This was a game he probably knew yesterday he was going to start in, especially considering Allmark missed practice yesterday. Sogard, he's kind of thrust into there last minute. It was a late emergency call-up from Belleville. Still not an excuse for some of those goals. He knows he needs to make some stops there, but also a really tough spot for Sogard to be in. Thrust into a high-scoring, high-offensive game out of nowhere on a Monday afternoon. It's a tough spot for him to be in. But again, you need stops. And that, at the end of the day, is not what Ottawa got today. That's for sure. So yeah, Ottawa and the Kings. The Kings would get a late penalty, but we would head to overtime. And yeah, the Noof, number 9, Josh Norris, wins it in overtime as the Sens walk it off against the Los Angeles Kings with an 8-7, my goodness, an 8-7 overtime victory as they take down the Kings 8-7 in overtime. Josh Norris, 2-goal game, 3-point night, the lone Senator with over 2 points in this game. My goodness, what a win for the Ottawa Senators as they take down the Kings 8-7 and improve to 2-1-0 on the season. Now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I would talk about the goaltending, and the goaltending tonight, let's just say, was abysmal, and that's being very, very polite about it. These goalies today nearly killed the Ottawa Senators. They frankly did. Ottawa should have won this game easily without having to score a touchdown plus, all right? It was unbelievable. The goalies today combined, that being Forsberg and Sogard, for a .720 save percentage while allowing 7 goals on 26 shots. That's unbelievable. That is terrible. Terrible. And again, Forsberg knew he was getting the start today. He needs to be better, and Sogard needs to be better, no doubt. The only reason I'm going to give him a little bit of slack, again, mid-Monday emergency call-up. It's a tough spot to be in for a young goaltender. But that was a tough start there for both goaltenders, who both looked so non-positionally sound. And Forsberg has looked sluggish and slow in net since those surgeries he's had on those 2 knees after the 2 knee injuries last year. So that is absolutely concerning. And then, of course, with Sogard, he's such a big goalie, literally one of the tallest players in the National Hockey League. He looks small in his net. He looks off his angles, and that doesn't make any sense when he's so big in the net. He looks small. So those are some massive red flags for me, and it wouldn't shock me, frankly, if the Ottawa Senators started looking at potential backup goaltenders to insulate this goaltending situation Ottawa finds themselves in, especially if Allmark and his situation becomes very serious. Now, I want to leave it off on a positive because this game should be left off on a positive because we won this game. We didn't lose. We won. And here is a fascinating stat for you. Shout out Trent Reynard, Sens Talk statistician for the stat. Ottawa had 7 players today score 2 points. Only 1 score more than 2, and somehow a crazy, high-scoring game, only 1 player score more than 2 points. That was Josh Norris with 3 points, 2 of which were goals, including the OTGWG. And as well, by the way, the Sens power play today went 4 for 6. Jake Sanderson, a huge part of that, a 2-point game for him as well. But yeah, a huge win over the Los Angeles Kings as Ottawa takes care of business, and they next play on Thursday against the New Jersey Devils as they look to win back-to-back games for the first time this year. But yeah, thank you all so very much for watching. What a crazy game this was, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As always, I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.